Wim start the opening statement, and then open up for questions.
I think we're on to something. It was something that I wish I made the adjustment a little bit earlier with some things we're doing a little bit, did in that game offensively. I think it's going to help us a lot. And we'll see. But, good effort by our guys. Why were we successful in the game? We took 85 shots. They took 51. That was the difference. It's hard to not be successful if that's the case. We were able to force 28 turnovers. We had 12. We had 18 offense rebounds. They had 5. So, that's pretty much when you can do that. And we have our depth, and they had their point guard was out. We were able to take advantage of that and get the game up and down, and our guys played loose and played pretty good. What's wild is we still missed 32 threes in the game. We still missed 49 shots in the game. So, and those are probably some of the best looks we've had. So, we could have scored a lot more points, I felt. So, they're doing their team's been playing really well lately. Western has. Their coach has done a fantastic job. They've improved more than anybody. They won at ETSU. Barely lost to Furman, as we talked about. Took Chat down to the wire the other day. Greensboro down to the wire on the road. So he's done an unbelievable job. We had to work on our stuff from start to finish. We're using this to get ready for the tournament. So there was going to be no pulling it out. We were going to keep going and try to get better. I want to say something. This is very important. I want to say this about these seniors with this team, because it's senior night. And some have been here longer than others. But I was talking to a group earlier today. And when you look at this team, okay, they are one win away from having the second most regular season wins in the history of the university. With the exception of last year's team, they have the highest Ken Palm net rankings than any team in the history of the school, with the exception of last year's team, right? We're going into the last weekend with 2 games, still have a chance to win the league. We control our own destiny to second place. And we lost a lot of players off last year's team. And so when we have gone through the ups and downs of the SoCon, which everyone goes through, when you look back up to this point in the season, we got to look at the positives. And you got to say, analytically, unbiasedly, that this is one of the best teams to ever suit up and play for the university. If you wanted to get to it analytically, you say it's the second best team to ever play for the university. So I say that to say that when we're frustrated, when we may win one, lose one, win one, lose one, this tough league, and we're upset, that's a great thing, isn't it? What if we said years ago that, hey, we'd be sitting here a little down going into the last weekend that we don't have first place locked up, but we still have a chance for it. Hey, we're about to be the second highest Ken Palm ranking in the history of a school. We'd be all upbeat about it, right? So for these seniors, we really want to thank them and for their contributions to the program in a year where people may say this will probably be a little bit of a rebuild, losing so many guys. Playing against teams that returned a lot of players, they said, no, not this year. And they kept the program going, and we're still playing for a lot and have a lot to look forward to. And I appreciate them very much, and I think all the Samford faithful hope that they recognize that with these players.
On Wednesday, you talked about the bad shot selection maybe in the first half. What did you see kind of improvement on that front today?
Yeah. Well, the faster we play, the better shots we'll get. That's how you get great shots, if you can play faster. And I think a lot of our shots aren't coming in the way that people would think, which is we're not necessarily working the ball enough. Number one, you want to score early and score late. So if you don't get what you want early, you want to score late. But the best shots come in transition early. So we got to get back to running and being us and our players playing free and try to get great looks early and then be willing to get them late. I thought our shots that we got were very good. They were very good shots. There were very few that I looked at and thought that was not a good shot. I really felt we could have scored about 110 points if we had a little better night shooting the basketball. I think the way that we played offensively, the pace, some of the things we were doing, fits our best players, fits our best scorers. Allow them to get loose. And if you look at the shot balance in the game, it's more indicative of the way that it probably should look in terms of who's getting the shots, where they're getting the shots. And, you know, I think that we'll see some significant offensive improvement here. And I think we're about to be back to being a really exciting basketball team to watch.
Coach, Trey Ford, these last 3 games, he's really turned it on. 24 points tonight. Do you feel like this is something that could be contagious with the team?
Well, I think that he'll continue to thrive if we keep putting him in the right spots. Obviously, when he's playing well, they have to key on him so hard that life's easy for others. You know, I wish we were playing a little bit more, enforcing the pace like we were in that game more. I think we played a little too cautious because I think it fits him well, and he's one of the best scorers in the league. So I think he'll have a great finish, and I think obviously when one player's playing well, other players tend to play better because the defense has to be so keyed on players when they're playing well.
You talked about the seniors, but Rylan and his impact, getting that extra year, just what has he meant to your basketball team, especially what he played today with 16 points, 7 assists?
I mean, he's all about winning. And, you know, when he came here, if you looked at it, and I remember recruiting him talking about what he'd be able to do here. And like I mentioned, when you look at the deal unbiasedly, you got to say he's been on certainly the best team in the history of the school. Let's just call it what it is, right? I mean, we've got to call it what it is from last year's team. And then arguably right here, the second best team for the season, you know. And he was the point guard who led the way. And, you know, I just, you know, RJ, he's one of these guys that doesn't want to let anybody down. And on senior night, it's a day to give thanks. And I just really appreciate what RJ's done for this university. And a lot of times the player thanks the coach for what they do for you. I mean, what a coach does for a player. And I would just say, when it comes to RJ, I just appreciate everything he's done for me personally. You know, think about that, you know. And so Samford has a big impact on people, but there's very few players that have that type of impact on a university, and he's certainly one of them.
Coach, when people think about Bucky ball, they think about that aggressive defense. Today with 21 steals, do you feel like that's something you can continue on with these last couple road games?
Teams won't turn it over as much on the road. Certainly we'll try, right? But we have to – we can't be a one-sided team that forces the pace. And that's what we've kind of become in some ways, is a team that defensively can force the pace, but offensively we hadn't been doing that. And so we got to get back to both sides of the ball with our offense matching our defense obviously matching our offense. And like I said, if it doesn't work, we're going to shake their hand and say, good job, guys. Y'all got us today. But we know what we are, and we got to stick to it.
Coach, this is your 4th season with 13 wins at home. Just have you had time to reflect on what you've built here at Samford?
It's kind of like we talked about, the expectations from what everyone's put in are so high that when we talk about a season like this and we sit here with, some regrets, you have to look at that and say, that's great, like I mentioned earlier. But what I would say is how appreciative I am for all the players, all the coaches, guys like y'all who have made this special. And it's just kind of been a grassroots movement. And I just want y'all to know how much I appreciate y'all, because we're all in this thing, man, and y'all were there at the beginning when we weren't good. You know what I'm saying? When we were just getting it going. And we're going to take it to new heights. And we're going to do it, and we're going to remember this. And I'm never going to forget the people that helped build it. And you two guys specifically, I appreciate it, man. Y'all been with us ups and downs. And we're going to have a lot of downs. We're going to have a lot more ups. And y'all deserve it. And this, those that have been there, the true fans that stayed with us thick and thin, we know who you are. And we appreciate it. We appreciate the positivity, even in tough times. Thanks, guys.